The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to see everyone here enjoying this wonderful spring weather that we seem to finally be getting. Welcome. This is my psychic hour, and I'm Sandy Anastasi. Let me see if I can get my picture up here so you can see me as I talk. Well, not quite yet. It doesn't look like it's happy about being able to put me up, but I'm getting my voice up. Folks, I don't know why the camera is unwilling to go online, so I'm going to give you an apology. Hopefully my picture will start to display any minute, but it's not online right now. So you're just going to have to deal with me in the vocal mode. I hope that's okay with everyone. Those of you who are getting this on the recording after the fact, you're going to do just fine because you're going to be able to pick up the voice and the camera. I think some of you are seeing me on video, just not everybody. So without any further ado, we're going to get started with the Psychic Hour this evening. Thank you for joining me. This is one of my favorite things to do as we go through each month of the year. I've been doing these for a whole lot of years, and I'm going to keep doing them for a whole lot more too. Folks, as we get started, I'd like to make a couple of announcements about events that are coming up. I've got so much going on in the month of May. It's going to be pretty amazing. The first thing I want you to please write on your calendar right now is actually for June. Our next Psychic Hour is going to be June 26th. That's almost 2 months from now. Oh my. You see, we're going to be going at the end of June, June 26th, and here we are at the beginning of May. So it's almost like we're skipping a month in there, even though we're not. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again in June. Write it on your calendar. June 26th, 9 p.m. is our next Psychic Hour. Meanwhile, what's happening right now? A lot of you got my editorial, my newsletter in your inbox today. If you're on my mailing list for my newsletter, you did. And you would have seen that in my editorial, I was talking about a mastermind business coaching program. It's a 3-part program that I've just put together for people who want to earn their living doing the thing they love best, which is either doing psychic readings or having a new age store or a holistic healing center or. Well, folks, we already did the first session. We did that last Wednesday, and oh my goodness, it was absolutely marvelous, amazing, wonderful. Anyone who wants to put together their own business in the psychic field, I highly recommend it. I have 2 more sessions left in this particular mastermind. They're on May 11th and June 8th. If you would like to join in, it is not too late to join. You would get a recording of the first session. So I'm hoping I see you on that. I have a couple of openings left. If you miss this, I'm hoping to have it a couple of times again, maybe during the summer and at the end of the year. I think it's so important. But try to get in on this one if you can. The next thing I want to announce, those of you who've been wanting to attend a live psychic fair with Anastasi system graduates being the readers at it, my latest graduating class is graduating in June. And in fact, the psychic fair for that class is going to be on May 21st. Their graduation actually is the very last or second to last weekend of May. So if you want to get a reading for free in Tampa, Florida, by one of our Anastasi system psychic grads, join the crowd of people lining up at the door on May 21st. And on that same weekend, on May 19th, I'm going to be teaching my Anastasi system level 5, which is a lot of practice in mediumship. I'm going to be teaching how to use mediumship and healing on May 21st and 22nd. And for those of you who just want to know what's going on the other side, and you want to learn that live from me, my psychic development class, Seeing Beyond the Veil, is going to be offered all day on May 20th. I really hope that I get to see you there. That's a fabulous class. Those of you who can only take classes online with me but want to do that, my dream webinar, it's all about what your dreams mean and how you can use them to help make your life better. That's on May 26th, right here online. So we've got a whole lot of stuff that's coming up. I'm excited about it. I want to share all of these wonderful things with you. And I'm ready to jump into tonight's class, which is all about getting psychic inspirations, insights, readings from me and my guides. And Lisa, my personal assistant, is in the chat room to help us. Let me tell you, this is our procedure. If you're new, I welcome you. When you are called on, and Lisa will be calling on you, I would like you to tell me your name. Tell us all your sun sign, because I can locate you right here on this horary chart that you're seeing online. And I want you to tell me what you're most grateful for this wonderful evening. And then I want you to ask your question. So your name, your sun sign, where you're calling from, because we do get people from all over the world, so it's fun to know where you're from, what you're most grateful for, and then your questions. We've got 5 bits of information I'd like to have from you before I answer your questions right here live online. If you're shy and you're afraid to raise your hand, I see some hands already up. If you're afraid to ask your hand, then type your question into the chat room, and Lisa will either answer it herself or she'll forward that to me if she sees a lot of people asking the same question. One last thing. If you don't get a chance to ask your question this evening, I allow people who attend this class in person, and only you folks who attend in person, to ask me one question if you didn't get to ask your question live. And you can send that to me in an email following this class, following this webinar, and I will do my best to get back to you. Now, please don't hold me to a time frame. I recently got back to someone after a year, and she was so grateful, and frankly, the question was appropriate to what's going on in her life right now. So I have a lot going on. It's not easy for me to return these calls or answer these questions, but I will do my best to get to all of them, even though it may take me some time to do so. I want to apologize. I do get people who shoot their questions to me in advance of these webinars. I cannot answer them, my friends. If you want your question answered, you must be here on the webinar to either ask it live or to ask it via email afterwards. So, Lisa, what is the question, or who is the person who is first on our list for asking a question this evening?
The person I'm going to unmute is Diane H. Diane, well, let me see. Diane, you're unmuted. My computer doesn't want to cooperate.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can, Diane. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. How can I help you?
Thank you very much. I am a Libra, and I am grateful for you, and I'm also grateful that I have this new awareness, and I'm evolving.
And it sounds like you're a member of John's Evolve, are you?
I am.
I love that word, and I love John. So
I think it's
welcome.
a great word too. Thank you, and yes, thank you for taking my call. I keep feeling like I'm getting stuck, and I don't know if I'm like blocking something to keeping me from progressing along, because I'm a newbie here. at this stuff.
Well, it's interesting that you are a Libra. Notice I have my cursor pointed to the house in our horary chart that represents Libra. It's the 11th house, which has to do with friends, groups, organizations, and here you join us as a member of John Edwards' group Evolve. So I'm grateful to have you here. That's wonderful. Um, so that all fits into this chart. But I also want to share something with you. There's something very interesting about the sign Libra. A lot of people aren't aware of this, especially people who are Libras. But Libra is the seventh sign of the zodiac, and it is the sign that is, we talk about it as the sign that's about relationship, right? You've heard that? Well,
Yes.
what Libra really is the sign that mirrors all of the other signs. So it's typical, it's normal for a Libra to project out of themselves their attitude, their fears, their worries, their concerns, the way they expect other people to treat them, the way they expect to treat other people. You guys project that outside of yourself. And because you're such fabulous projectors, what you manifest in the world around you is yourself coming back at you. So you learn about yourself through your reflection. Does that make sense to you?
It makes sense. How do I fix it?
Ah, well, are you supposed to fix it, or are you
I don't.
supposed to simply recognize these things in your world that you are seeing as oppositions and roadblocks as your own creation? And that you've created them so that you can help yourself to better define who you are and understand yourself better. Have I totally confused you?
Yes.
So what is this latest thing that you perceive is blocking you?
Well, it's finances
Mm-hmm.
is always that's always a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And um I my career, I had a very sick child um who has passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and but because she was sick, I really got involved in medical stuff. I'm not a nurse or anything, but I've been doing medical secretarial and data entry, and I am now a certified pharmacy technician.
Wonderful.
And yeah, I thought it was wonderful, but as I go along, I'm thinking, boy, I'm not sure about how am I helping people by giving them all these dangerous drugs?
Ah, well, you see, what you've done is you've manifested, and again, I'm equating this to your being Libra. You had your very sick child who's passed. My sincere condolences, by the way. That's probably the hardest thing for anyone in the world to, I can't even say get over, try to get past, just the loss of a
Thank you.
child.
It's
Um,
not easy.
you never can get past that. What you do is you learn to live with that. And then you
Right.
learn to make that experience an asset in how you approach life. Because all experience is worthwhile. Now, in your particular case, you spend so many hours, so much time in your life healing your child that what ended up happening is that when your child passed, you had this giant area that connects to the health field that needed to be filled. And the universe abhors a vacuum. And so it filled you with becoming this medical person who knows so much about medicine and is working and helping so many people. And you probably spent so much time with your daughter's health and your daughter's issues with drugs and drug therapy that you know so much about it. But now, as with all Libras, it's turned around on you. You filled the gap by stepping into what you knew so well, but because you knew it so well, you approach it from the same point of view. How can I get past this? How am I hurting someone with it? You see, Libras create oppositions in their life in order to create challenges so that in overcoming the challenge, you can grow and evolve to the next point in your life. So you came on to this question saying, Sandy, I want to grow, I want to evolve. How do I get this junk out of my life to be able to take that next step? And what my guides are telling you is that this junk is in your life because it's helping you to define your next step. Do you see it?
I understand that. Okay.
Okay. So when you have this tremendous urge to find out more about the drugs, to learn how to help people to heal holistically, what does that inspire in you? Because there's your next step. Do you have it?
Yes. However, because I'm new, I'm like all over the place. I'm into everything,
Uh-huh.
but and well, finances are a problem. But I've been finding a lot of cool stuff online for free or next to free,
You
and
know,
it's been
I want to just share this. Finances, oh, please forgive me, but I've got to say it. Finances are an illusion, my friends. Spend some time thinking about this, okay? Did you know that the federal government prints money all the time? They print money every day. And did you know that there's absolutely nothing backing that money except our reputation as a government? Are you aware of that?
yeah, actually I am.
Uh-huh. Okay. So how much is money worth? Isn't that a good thought? Okay. I.e., what do you want in your life and how do you achieve what you want in your life and how do you draw it to you? Focus on that. And whatever you need to create, that's going to follow. Whether it's money, whether it's barter, whether it's trade, it's going to follow. It will fill that gap.
And I think it has been
Mm-hmm.
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for
I
you.
think it Yeah, I think it has been, and I'm very grateful for all of that. And then, like, you'll offer something that I really think would be very helpful for me, and you start it when I'm not ready. So, okay, so that means the time's not right.
No, not necessarily. The time is right when you make it right, isn't it? When
Well, that's what I keep telling myself.
right. When you decide that you are ready to step forward, the time is right. The timing is up to you. My guides are suggesting that you have moved in the direction of healing because the obstacle that was your daughter's health has perpetuated, it's propelled you in that direction. But you chose this, just as she chose this. And I know that's getting into a big can of worms, but we choose our life experience.
I understand.
You chose this so that you could enter into being a healer and healing yourself and healing your loved ones. And anything that you can do and draw into your experience that's going to move you in the direction of understanding and growth is going to help you to do your life work. So you're on track.
Okay, well, that's very helpful to know.
Okay?
Yes.
So I
That,
wish you much luck. And I did that answer your question? I know that we were kind of all over the place, but that's what my guys were giving you.
yes, and yeah, it pretty much did. I just had one more little thing. I was just wondering if uh, are there issues between my husband and me with regard to all of this?
Yeah, you're concerned with the loss of your child having pulled you together and pushed you apart and pulled you together and pushed you apart. And he is not grieving in the same way that you're grieving. And you don't know if he's okay. And he's worried about you being okay. And
Yeah.
guess what? That's the problem. You both went through a life-changing experience. It changed you both in different ways. And that's okay. And perhaps the thing that's most important for the two of you right now is to accept that you both have your own way of grieving. You both have your own way of recovering. While your daughter was ill, you had formed your life and your world around her. She is not there any longer. There's nothing to fill that hole. and you're afraid you've lost one another. And he is just afraid of having lost you as you are of having lost him. Have you two thought of going to a marriage counseling?
Not really.
I think it would be a really great thing. Because you see, you used to be three. Actually, you're more than three, but you used to have that gap filled. That gap's not there
Yes.
anymore. You need to fill that gap not with something else that you try to bring in. You need to fill that gap with one another. Okay?
Okay, that makes some sense. Thank you so very much.
Well, good luck to both of you. Okay? And
Thank you.
again, my sincere condolences.
Thank you.
I can tell you that your daughter is with you all the time. And I'm sure you're aware of that because you're very sensitive and you do feel her.
I do.
She is making a difference on the other side. And you don't need to tell that to her father. He knows it. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much
Okay.
for calling.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. And Lisa, who is our next caller?
Our next person is going to be Andrea.
Hi,
If I can get
Sandy.
unmuted. My
Hi,
computer's
Andrea.
really slow. My apologies.
I am so honored. And that you're John's teacher, that's just brilliant. My name is Andrea Eagles, and I'm an Aries on the cusp. 20.
You just went dead, Andrea. I think you touched something. Untouch it. Andrea, I cannot hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, now you're back. Good.
I said I'm an Aries, 22nd of March.
Uh-huh.
I'm calling from Ridgecrest, California, but I live in my RV.
Mm-hmm. Oh, lovely.
I'm
Sounds like one of my dreams.
I would love to talk to you about it if you ever want to do that. I'm so grateful for so many things. I can't even, I'm just grateful for life. And I'm 72, and there's the next step, and I am kind of in a limbo there. I feel like I have so much to give, and I'm kind of in a holding pattern.
I've got to ask you, Andrea, and I'm sorry to bring this up, but what has been going on around you medically involving a woman who you're close to? Because that's really
Well,
pulling you down a lot. It's holding you back and it's got you confused.
Well, I have two medical issues with my children.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest daughter has been homeless on and off for about 20 years and has substance abuse issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some brain injury from those, that from drugs.
I think she's likely to be the one that I'm seeing the most clearly. And what's the problem with the other one? The other one, the problem does not seem as severe, and it also
It
seems
isn't.
there's
If
someone else who she can depend upon.
Well, she fell down the steps and got a traumatic brain injury and hasn't worked in 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Former triathlete, but she is living independently.
Yeah, I see an independent living situation there, and I also see someone close to her, probably a man, that will be there for her. So you don't need to be so concerned with her because you see her care being taken care of. The one that seems to be the big concern for you is the other daughter with the substance abuse and the homelessness. And I'm sorry to be this blunt, but she really has become your major, um, really the weight that holds you down as you move through life. And one of the things that's happening to you right now at this time in your life, I mean, you have put yourself in a position where you have really limited your expenses and you've limited the amount of things that can drag you down, that can pull energy from you. You put yourself in a situation where you can actually live the life of your choice, the life that you have been born to live. But this one daughter is the thing, which is the block in your path. Okay?
Well,
And
and I'm aware that we choose our parents and we choose to come, and that
right.
Earth isn't easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing is, you have, and I can't make these choices or decisions for you. I can commiserate, I can understand. I have similar issues in my own life. I definitely feel, my heart feels for you. But I do know that your choice of how you handle that situation with that daughter makes a big difference as to what direction you progress with your own future life. If you choose to keep stepping back into her life scenario, you will continue
No, 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 I won't.
kind of energy to you. If you,
Because I've done enough with her. I don't know what else I could do.
there is nothing. There is nothing.
There's
There's a
nothing,
long,
nothing.
hard road. Now, as you move forward, you have the potential to enter into a new life situation where there will be family and there will be friends, and a large part of that may be around the life situation you're creating for yourself. There will be a life mate who is very caring and where you can reach out and help one another. So that all of these things are in your future and they're already forming around you right now. But the warning my guides are giving me is that the daughter with the substance abuse problem keeps popping up. She is like the bad penny, and she will destroy what you're creating unless you make your mind up ahead of time what you're going to do about it.
I
Sorry,
hear you.
so blunt, but my guides are blunt.
No, I want blunt.
Okay. Okay. So your big question, I guess, is what's your next step in the life direction you are choosing for you? And that has a lot to do with travel. So you said that you had put yourself into an RV type of situation, but this isn't an RV where you're just living in a trailer park. My guides are showing you on the move, my friend.
That's correct. But I did just put my name on a wait list for a more stable situation where I would be able to park my RV year round and travel as I wanted.
Okay, as long as my guides aren't giving any indication of if that's good, bad, or indifferent. They're focusing on the movement and the travel, and they're saying this is your journey, this is your life, this is where you're feeling really good about things. This is where you've been able to heal, and either they're just ignoring the potential from living in a solid place that's secure, or they're saying once you get it, you're just not going to be there. Okay?
Okay.
So you're not done with all this moving. It's still around you. And I think when you do choose to settle down, it may actually end up being in a different place. Okay?
Wow. Well, when I did the I Ching for years and years, it always came up as the Wanderer.
You definitely are. But seriously, there is a man in your future. I don't see a marriage, but I see a likelihood of a live together situation. And he is not in the present situation. That's another thing you're in the process of dealing with. So life is motion for you. It's changing in so many different respects, and you're resolving a lot of issues. And as you resolve them, they're going to unwind in a direction which, guess what, is quite, it's what you wanted, but it's not being done the way you expected.
Oh God, that's life, isn't it?
Yes, it is, isn't it? So thank you so much. And I'm
Thank
going
you
to go
so
so we
much.
can get our next caller online. Lisa, who is next?
Hang on just a second. I have to
Okay.
I have to mute Andrea. I can't find her.
That's okay.
I
She's
said
a
my
smart lady.
apologies. My computer
She's
is
not talking.
doing really weird. No, I've muted her. My
Okay.
computer is doing very, very weird things. All right, I'm going down to Kelly W. You are unmuted.
Hello, Kelly.
But it says
Hi.
Kelly, it says that you're self-muted. There
I
you
No,
can
go.
hear her.
can you hear me now?
I can. Yes.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good, Kelly. How are you this evening?
I'm well. I'm well. So I had a question. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm a Leo, by the way.
Uh-huh. So you're right
And
up here in my ninth house. You're the one who should be traveling. That's the ninth house. And Kelly, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Maryland.
Beautiful there,
And
especially this time of year.
and and yes, it is very nice. The weather's been a little um unusual, but it's still nice. And I'm grateful for my husband and my two beautiful children that I have here.
Thank you for
Um,
sharing.
one of which is here with
I hear, yeah.
tagging along.
Uh-huh.
So my question is, I've had this phobia that I've had ever since I can remember, since I was probably born, and and I've had different people give me readings about it, and one of the more detailed ones that I got said that I'll have to pretty much carry this for the rest of my life, possibly because of the karmic um, significance of it. It's something that I agreed to kind of take on in this lifetime because of things that I've done in past lives. So this is kind of like something that once I get through it in this lifetime, I should hopefully not have to carry it any longer.
Kelly,
And so, yes,
are you hearing this really deep silence on this end?
yes.
What do you think that deep silence signifies?
I'm not sure.
Could it possibly be disagreement?
It could be possibly disagreement because I don't believe that I should have to, carry that.
Good girl, good girl.
I
Please.
don't believe that. They said that it could be taken away, but I've tried so many things. I mean, so many things,
Okay, let
and
me
even
share.
spend.
Kelly,
So
let me just share this with you. Okay. Uh,
yes.
First off, I know this because my guides have made it eminently clear, and I would suggest that you and everyone else on this call, if you can't get to Florida to attend my Seeing Beyond the Veil class, then go online and buy that class and listen to it either on audio or on video. And here's one of the things that my guides have told me in that class. Every single one of us on this planet has the possibility to completely and totally erase all of your karma, all negativity, anything that's bad in the blink of an eye. Would you?
Oh,
That's right. Nothing is carved in granite. Nothing can't be changed. Nothing says that you have to put up with garbage for your entire life because of what you did in some previous life. You got it?
right,
Okay.
right.
Now, now that said, and I'm so grateful that you brought that up because way, way back when I had gotten out of a really bad marriage and I had just gotten into, metaphysics myself. And I thought, well, that marriage was so horrible because I must have done something really bad in a previous life. Sound familiar, huh? So I
Yeah.
went and I got a past life regression from a really good guy who was an Indian, Indian who did past life regressions. And he didn't want to know my past history. He just regressed me into other lifetimes. And you know what I discovered? I discovered that in every single lifetime that I'd ever met this character, he had in some way abused me. He'd either raped me, or he'd had me burned at the stake, or he'd beat me to death, or he would just use me because he felt like it. I had had this marriage countless times, and he always used me. Guess what? This wasn't me paying back. This was me stuck in a rut. Okay?
Yeah.
So please,
Yeah.
please, please, please don't use this concept of karma in the concept of payback. It's an incorrect understanding of karma. All karma means is that what we've started, we have to finish. Period. That's all it means. And you can finish it however you want. Okay? You
Right.
just have to
Yeah.
finish it. So let's talk about your phobia, though, because that is significant. And phobias don't, a lot of times people say they originated in other lifetimes. I have personally found that most phobias actually had their origin in this lifetime. And something that most people are unaware of is that phobias, emotional issues that cause you to break down or cause panic attacks, these things usually, and I'm not a psychologist, this is simply experience of dealing with thousands of clients, okay? These things usually come out of an emotional situation that you had earlier in this life, and for whatever reason you linked your fear of doing this other innocuous thing to that same emotional issue, okay? Again, I'll use myself as an example. I had a very, very difficult divorce some time back. At the same time, I was taking diving lessons. And for whatever reason, I was perfectly able to dive and had complete control over oxygen. And all of a sudden, not only could I not breathe through that oxygen mask underwater, but as soon as I put my head underwater, I got a panic attack. Now, that had nothing to do with the instructor or the diving or the water. It had everything to do with my emotional state that somehow got linked to it. Am I making sense to you?
Yes.
So what my guides are telling me is that your phobia would actually be very easily resolved if you went back into childhood and were able to unlock. We do this in my psychic development level 3, by the way. We look into our fear chest or worry chest, and we pull out the things we're worried about, and we find their origin. Sometimes they're past lives, most often they're this life. And what we do is we pull that thing out that we were afraid of. And it's absolutely amazing, because when you can eliminate the thing you're afraid of, you regain all of this wonderful stuff that you locked away from yourself by pushing the fear down. So this is a good thing for you to pursue. It's a good thing, but it's not going to be in the logical place. You're going to need to look back at the thing you're most afraid of that has nothing to do with this phobia. Nothing. The phobia is something different.
Right.
It's not even related. But when you are able to get hold of this childhood concern, which my guides are telling me had to do with a loss, okay, a tremendous fear. I don't know if your parents were divorced at an early age, but there's this tremendous fear of the people who are your support system being pulled apart, okay? And you had this enormous fear, and that phobia about whatever it is got linked into that fear. And when you're able to release that fear, the phobia will simply go away. I.e.,
Okay.
I can now put my head underwater and I can snorkel, and I love it. Okay? I hope that helps. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Guides, will working with a psychologist help? My guides are saying yes. And they're also telling me that you have worked with psychologists in the past and it has not been helpful, but that's because they weren't looking in the right place. You were trying to attack the phobia instead of looking for that unrelated fear. Go back and look at the loss in your childhood. I don't know who it was that had a relationship that blew up, but you have a lot of fears, a whole lot of phobias, not just one that are linked into that.
Okay.
Okay? And by the way, I'm grateful that you have a good marriage, that you have wonderful kids right now, because I think that what you are doing in your life right now is helping to heal that earlier hurt in life, and it's also helping you to get over that phobia.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
So good for you.
I really do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sandy.
You're very welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Lisa, who is next?
Our next person is going to be Janet. Janet, you're unmuted.
Hey, Janet. Janet, I'm not hearing you. Are you unmuted?
Janet, can you unmute yourself on your end?
Hello?
There you go. Hello, Janet.
Okay. I couldn't figure it out. Hi. I'm a Pisces, and I'm from Brockway, Pennsylvania, and I'm 48 years old, and I'm grateful for my children.
And Janet, I want you to just look at this horary chart I've got up here on our webinar.
Yes.
Pisces is the house, it's on the fourth house. That's the house of home and family. So I guess that's where your focus is going right now. But in that house, there's the moon, there's Neptune, there's the south node, there's Chiron. You've got all kinds of things going on right now, don't you? And
Yes, I do.
opposing that up there in the house of career, but it's in opposition to it. So this comes through your husband or mate. You've got Jupiter and North Node and part of fortune. You have so many questions. You're so concerned about the changes and the shifts that are going on, primarily coming through your mate, and you're not sure what choices and decisions to make. You don't want to hold him back, but you don't want to alienate other people. You don't want to hurt anybody, but you have so many good feelings about wanting to support everybody, and you're just plain confused, aren't you?
Yes, exactly. You pretty much hit the spot. I have too many problems. I could go on forever.
So what's your particular question, Janet?
Well, that was one of them, but my main one is I've had health issues for quite a few years now, and I'm like a mystery to most of the doctors. So I have pretty much every diagnosis. They have me down as lupus and every other thing, but I have a low immune system. So they really don't know.
I want to interrupt you just for a moment, okay? Now, mind you, I'm only an astrologer. I'm not a doctor. And I'm a
Right.
a psychologist.
Right.
The moon, see my cursor? It's in the fourth house. It's in Pisces. This is tonight's chart. It defines you. The moon is your physical body. Neptune says you're not possible to diagnose. Isn't that interesting? There it is, right there. It says you can't. Now, notice in Pisces, that says it's happened for a long time. Chiron is the healing planetoid. What you have discovered is that if you pay attention to yourself and your own feelings and your own symptoms, and you handle things the way you feel you should, you usually feel good, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you're actually learning is that you have to be your own healer, and you need a doctor who's going to listen to you. And when your intuition says that this thing going on in your face feels like a sinus problem, not a toothache, it is a sinus problem. And when you get to the sinus doctor and he says, no, that's a toothache, you say, no, it's not. Do some tests. And you
that's what I'm doing.
Listen to you, because this configuration says that the only one who can really diagnose you is you. And the only one who can ever really find your way back to healing is you. And, you know, my guides are saying that you've already figured this out. And as a result, you're a whole lot better now than you've been a few years ago, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. Now, the other thing you have to be careful of, okay? Neptune's going to be in Pisces for about another 10 years. It's going to keep your immune system low. It's going to keep you having these same kinds of physical symptoms, and you are going to have to take care of them yourself. What this is actually doing, you see, is it's making you like a super psychic. It's making you so sensitive, you could stand next to somebody on a supermarket line who's got a pain in their hip, and then you have a pain in your hip that night.
Yes, I already do.
So if you wouldn't mind, please go to my psychic, go to my YouTube channel and listen to all my psychic protection tips. My favorite psychic protection book is called The Art of Psychic Protection by Judy Hall. Please get it and read it. I have a downloadable tape. It's an MP3 on my website, Psychic Protection. Please download it and listen to it. You're getting my point, because you really have to learn to beef up your own energy system. That means taking vitamins, getting enough sleep, meditating, eating right. And the more you do these things that make your energy system more whole, more intact, the healthier you'll be. You also are going to find that it's in your best interest to be your husband's, primary ruler for keeping him healthy. Now, mind you, you're not the one who's supposed to do this, but you need to get online and root him to success in everything he does, because when he's feeling bad or he's feeling down or he's working a job he doesn't like or he's overtired or overworked, you get zapped. So
Right.
either you've got to divorce the poor guy, or you've got to make him responsible for his own health and well-being so that you don't have to be his battery. You got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You have any other
I've always been a sensitive ever since I was born, pretty much. But I'm always, over doing other jobs, pretty much overworked and other things to where I don't have time to practice or, to do what I want to do.
Yeah, I've got to tell you, if you're overtired, and if you're not eating right, and if you're not sleeping right, and if you're letting yourself get run down, and then you develop all these symptoms of lupus and everything else that you supposedly have, environmental illness, etc., my friend, there's only one person to blame, and that's you, because you know what
Right.
you do to be healthy.
Right. Yes, I do. See, my mother passed away too, and they didn't know what was wrong with her. And me and her were so much alike.
Well, you come from a psychic family, and all the things you're talking about are very. I mean, I can't say that everyone who has these things are having them because of their psychic sensitivity, but for you, there's a very fine line between the physical receptivity and the psychic receptivity, and then the physical illness that develops. It's a very, very fine line, and I know when you get a real handle on strengthening your energy body and your energy system, you're not going to have these illnesses anymore.
I agree. I just need guidance, I suppose.
Yeah, well, you just need somebody to put their foot down for you every once in a while. Okay. So you're going to get a copy of this webinar. Replay it. It will help. Okay.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for calling in. And
Thank you.
I'm going to try to fit as many more people as I can, so I'm going to go a little bit faster. Who's our next person?
All right, we're going to go down to Michelle. You're unmuted.
Hello, Michelle.
And it looks like she's going to have to unmute herself also.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There you go.
Hi, Sandy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm so excited I got through. I never imagined I would. It's evidently the night of John Edward Evolve members.
Well, it's a good thing to belong to, so that's great.
Yes, and luckily I found you through him. My question has to do with my children. My daughter has had multiple surgeries since she was very young, and my son just committed suicide in July. And I'm wondering what I'm supposed to learn or how I'm supposed to deal with this stuff.
The first thing, let me address first the question of what am I supposed to learn. That's always a hardship, okay? Always a hardship to look at what have I learned from this. But I know that in this, I can't make this more gentle. You have learned the value of a family. You have learned the value of relationship. You've learned the value of no matter what a person does, no matter who they are, if you love them, you're going to still love them no matter what.
Absolutely.
You didn't have that before your son passed. Do you see? You have it now. That's a gift from him. It's a gift. Okay? You said that your son, and I'm sorry I've got to go here when it's so raw, and I really am sorry. This hurts. Tell me to shut my mouth. Okay?
Okay.
Did he try to commit suicide before that? Was this the first time?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Had he tried to kill himself several times before?
Not that I know of, no.
My guides are saying he did. Okay? And they're also saying that he didn't, and maybe you'll relate to this, They're saying he didn't belong here. He didn't feel as if he belonged here. Now, when I say here, I don't mean to you, and I don't mean to your family. I don't mean to his sister. Just here on this planet Earth. He had a different way of looking at things. He had a different way of processing things. He just wasn't comfortable in the skin that he was in. And again, I'm not saying that he was the wrong sex or the wrong race or anything like that.
No, yeah, he was very emotional, but we're all Pisces, my daughter, my son, and me. But he
didn't feel like
he seemed to have it all, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why it was such a shock when he committed suicide.
He did what I can only tell you what my guides are telling me. What they're saying is he just didn't feel that he really fit in anywhere. And I know that sounds odd. When you look at this person who had it all, he was good at sports and people liked him and. But those were all the face that he was putting on. It wasn't who he was.
Okay.
Do you see? And it's not that that's what I was saying, it's not that he was gay. It's not that he was somebody who was super smart and everybody else was less, or super, unintelligent and everybody else was more intelligent. He just didn't feel that wherever he was, he really belonged. Okay? And they're telling me that this isn't the first time that he had tried to commit suicide. So I don't know what other times there were when maybe he just thought about it and didn't do it.
If he did, I was unaware of it, but when I went through his phone after he committed suicide, I found that he had been talking to a lot of girlfriends about it. I don't know if he actually came out and said, but they felt worried enough that they said, don't do anything stupid, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and he never really came out and said, I'm going to do it. But then any person who is a psychologist who deals with suicide people or families of suicides, or who's run a suicide hotline, will tell you that the people who actually do it usually never tell anybody. They're the ones who just do it. The ones who are constantly crying wolf, well, those are the ones who usually don't do it, okay? But he had thought about it multiple times. I think he had come very close to doing it in the past, and this time he simply said, okay, I'm ready to do this. And what's important here it's important that you know that this wasn't that you had something to do with it, or your daughter or your husband had something to do with it. This was all about him. It wasn't about anybody else. He just felt that he didn't belong on this planet, in this place, at this time. He was different. He saw life from a different perspective. He saw people from a different perspective. No matter what was going on, no matter how much people liked him, he didn't feel like he could fit in to this world. Okay? And
yeah.
Why was he born to a family of Pisces? Because probably out of everybody in the world, you were the ones who could understand him. But you see, but it just wasn't enough. Okay.
Was this a life path that he chose, that he was going to do this and I was going to have to live with this?
No. Now you're doing the Catholic thing. I'm sorry, my friend. We don't do that. And by the way, this is not meant as a put down to any religion, but we don't do the Catholic thing. We don't do any religion thing here. We're non-religious. Okay?
Yeah. I'm not a deep believer in religion per se. I'm more spiritual.
There's no such animal as guilt here. No, it's not that he chose this family knowing that he was going to commit suicide and he picked you because this was part of your lesson. Had nothing to do with this. If anything, he picked your family because you were sensitive and you were emotional and you were intuitive and you were understanding. And with you, he was able to develop and he was able to grow. But, he was somebody who was more than we humans are right now in our development. And he
said he was an old soul.
He didn't have anybody he could really relate to. And that doesn't sell you or your daughter or your husband short. There was just nobody he could relate to, okay? Even all those girlfriends. He could have a connection to them, a romantic connection, an energetic connection, but he couldn't really relate to them on the level that he wanted and needed to relate. Honestly, and I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes here, I personally feel if somebody wants to kill themselves, they have a right to do that. Of course, I wish we had psychologists who were educated in that could make absolutely certain the person really wanted to do it before they did it, but I don't see anything in this universe that we don't have a right to use concerning ourselves. Okay, so please let him off the hook.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
My guides are telling me that he's on the other side and he's working very hard, and that he knew he had to cross because the work that he had to do, he could do far better on the other side than he could do it here. He had to come here to collect the data. He's over there doing the job. You got it? This had nothing to do with you and your kids.
And what can I do to help other people that are going through what I've already gone through?
Now that is a whole, you could write a book, you've been thinking about it, why don't you do it? Okay? And the way to do it is to start out with a blog. Okay? Put all those feelings, all those thoughts, all these things that you've gone through, because you've gone through a whole lot in this last year. Write it. Blog about it. And you're going to help a lot of people by doing that. And I'll tell you something else. When you put those thoughts into words, I don't know if you realize it, but you're connecting with him. And he's able to give you words back. So you're making connections with him through the veil.
Wow.
Okay? And I know you're aware of it. Now, as far as your daughter is concerned, I do see a return to health for her. And I think she's on the mend already, isn't she?
Yes, ma'am, she is.
Yep.
She just had a surgery in, I believe, December or late November and December, and she's mending from it still.
Yeah, she's going to do fine. And she is receiving help from the other side, not just from him, but from basically a whole team of helpers. She's got good guidance out there. Tell her that. Please tell her.
I will. Thank you.
And Lisa, I think I have time for just one more person. So if we could bring that last caller online, I would appreciate it.
Okay, I'm going to unmute Susie. Susie, you're unmuted.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Susie.
This is the night of evolvers. I've been with John forever. In fact, have you ever heard John talk about big hugs from Montana?
Yes, I have. You're
That's
Montana.
me.
Yay.
Yes, I am. Yeah, and my daughter, Robin, was very lucky to have you read her on a spree cast about 3 years ago. So.
Oh, wow. I remember. I remember that. Yeah. Fabulous.
Yes, with the two boys.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm a Leo, and from Butte, Montana.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my question. I was diagnosed with lung cancer on Monday.
Oh, boy.
And I'm not afraid to die. I know what's on the other side. What I'm afraid of is watching everybody else have to go through it.
Well,
and
hold it. First of all, I mean, I could be wrong. Nobody's 100% right, but my guides are saying you're not dying. So let's not be dead yet, okay? That's number one. At least not right now. I mean, everybody dies. Death is the flip side of life, and we're all afraid of it, but we shouldn't be because it's actually like graduation day, okay? But your graduation is not at hand. That's number one. Now, number two is, this is going to sound really, really miserable, but it's going to be so interesting to watch everybody's reaction to this. Did you hear what my guides just said to you?
Yeah.
What a surprise, huh? Have you told anybody yet?
Katrina called me the other day. I told Katrina.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And because I wanted to talk to John, and John said he was trying to figure out how he could help me, and he thought that maybe he would do like a three-way chat between me, him, and Diana Gray, because Diane is such a phenomenal woman, as you well know.
I see you're getting help from all over. That's a big part of it. You're getting help from this side. You're getting help from that side. But I don't see you going yet. Okay.
I have a biopsy tomorrow to know where I'm at. They found five nodules in a mass. So without having, because I will not, I'm not one to do any chemo, radiation, or anything like that for lung cancer. And, but I need to know where I am stage-wise, and really how much time they kind of think I have, so I can, see my son and do things.
Yeah. Well, it's time to look at life and say, well, how much do I want to live and what do I want to do? I think this is on your plate so that you kind of get your act together and decide, okay, I don't want to just cool my heels. I want to know what I want to do with my life. Time to do it, my friend. Um, you know, my guides are saying your time is not yet.
Oh, that would be wonderful, Sandy.
Yep. And I'm not going to tell you what to do or what to not do. I think that your family, remember I said my guides are saying it's going to be interesting to see what everybody's way of handling things and responding to this is. It's going to be interesting to see what each member of your family suggests, because they're all going to have something that they're going to want to put their input in. I do think you're going to get some kind of treatment for this. And in today's world, there are many, many different kinds of treatment. Many. There's diet, there's energy healing, there's tons of stuff. And what I'm seeing you're doing is making your health and your healing your next step in life.
Well, if it's what I have, then that's it. That's my main thing. It's just that I've taken care of my mother as she passed. I took care of my mother-in-law as she passed, and it was just like, how come I can't go quick? Is the lesson of them watching me for them? Is it something they have to?
Nope, I don't think that's it at all. Nope.
No.
I think the lesson is that you've been able to help and heal everybody else. Now it's your chance to help and heal yourself. Your turn.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go for that one, Sandy.
Yeah, and honestly, everybody's got their own opinion, and everybody knows what they think you should do, but ultimately those decisions are yours.
Oh, yes,
That's
I'm very
where you're at
strong-minded.
right now. I am a firm believer in being fully responsible for your own health and well-being. And you have put yourself out and you've worked so hard for other people, and now's your chance to put all of that healing ability that you were born with to work healing yourself.
Well, I'll tell you what, you just gave me a lot of hope.
Yeah, well, you should have it, because you've got to get out of, okay, I've lost everybody that I was trying to heal. What's left? Well, what's left is you and this wonderful life that you're building. It's time to get on with it.
Well, thank you, Sandy. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good luck with everything. And drop me a note. Let me know how you're doing.
I will.
Everyone else who's on the call, I know I spent a little more time. We had some pretty heavy readings this evening, heavier than usual, so I spent a little more time with them. I'm sorry if I missed giving you a direct message in what we talked about. Listen and re-listen to this tape, because you're going to find my guides address everyone who's on the call. Even though they appear to be talking to one person, they're talking to everyone. Keep that in mind. And if you have a particular question, one question per person, and only if you are physically actually on this call tonight, I welcome your question that you can email me. The email account is right on the site here. Thanks so much, folks. It's always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to speaking with you again next month. And again, the next Psychic Hour is June 26th. Put it on your calendar. And I'm looking forward to seeing you then, if not before. Love you all. Good night.